Admiral Vexthor stood before the Galactic Council, his forearms crossed in defiance. The holographic display behind him showed a small blue planet orbiting an unremarkable yellow star in the outer rim of the Milky Way. With respect, Council members, this prohibition makes no sense, he argued, his mandibles clicking with frustration. We have catalogued over 47,000 sentient species across 9 galaxies. This world, Earth they call it, harbors only one. A single species with primitive technology, no faster-than-light capability, and barely unified governance. Yet you've marked it as a prohibited zone for 3,000 cycles? The eldest council member, a crystalline entity whose form shimmered with ancient wisdom, spoke in tones that resonated through the chamber. The prohibition stands, Admiral. There are things in this universe more dangerous than weapons or numbers. Dangerous? Vexthor's laugh was a harsh bark. They still use chemical propulsion. Their greatest military achievement is splitting atoms. We could subjugate their entire planet with a single dreadnought. Perhaps, the crystalline acknowledged. But you will not. Vexthor had heard enough. The Empire needed resources, and Earth's system was rich with them. If the Council was too cowardly to act, he would prove them wrong. 3 weeks later, his fleet emerged from hyperspace near Jupiter's orbit. The operation was textbook perfect. Vexthor deployed monitoring satellites, jammed Earth's primitive communications, and positioned his ships for maximum intimidation. 12 dreadnoughts capable of glassing continents hovered in formation above the planet's major population centers. He opened a channel, broadcasting in the dominant languages. Humans of Earth, I am Admiral Vexthor of the Galactic Empire. You will surrender your world's resources and submit to Imperial authority. You have 6 of your hours to comply. Then he waited. The response came not in words, but in action. Within an hour, every nuclear power on Earth had redirected their arsenals skyward. Vexthor watched with amusement as thousands of primitive missiles launched. His point defense systems could handle 10 times that number. But something else was happening. His sensors detected unusual energy signatures across the planet. Human facilities that had shown minimal activity were now blazing with power. Corporations, governments, and independent groups were sharing data at unprecedented rates. The entire species was synchronizing. Admiral, his tactical officer reported, we're detecting launches from everywhere. Not missiles, satellites, thousands of them. They're creating a network. Vexthor frowned. Irrelevant. Prepare to demonstrate our superiority. Destroy their communications satellite array. The order was given. Energy beams lanced from his dreadnoughts, vaporizing humanity's GPS and communications satellites. For a moment, Earth went dark. Then the humans did something unexpected. They adapted. Within minutes, makeshift communication networks sprang up. Ham radio operators, shortwave enthusiasts, even people with walkie-talkies created a distributed system, immune to targeted strikes. Military forces that had been enemies for decades coordinated like they'd trained together for years. They're using their internet, the tactical officer said with surprise. It's a decentralized network. We'd have to destroy every computer on the planet to shut it down. More troubling reports flooded in. Human scientists were sharing weapon designs openly. A teenager in Korea had posted specifications for modified railguns. Universities were live-streaming physics lectures on exploiting his ship's shield harmonics. Factories that made automobiles yesterday were printing weapon components today. Admiral, their manufacturing capacity is unprecedented. They're converting civilian infrastructure to military production in hours, not cycles. Vexthor wasn't worried yet. They're still primitive. Begin landing operations. The first wave of dropships descended on major cities. They were met with resistance far more organized than anticipated. Humans fought with a ferocity that shocked veteran soldiers who'd conquered dozens of worlds. When their advanced weapons ran out, they used primitive ones. When those were gone, they used tools. When they had nothing left, they used their hands. But it was their creativity that truly caught the Empire off guard. Humans turned their own infrastructure into weapons. In New York, they flooded subway tunnels and electrified the water. In Tokyo, they hacked construction robots to attack dropships. In Mumbai, they weaponized industrial 3D printers to create thermite drones. In São Paulo, they used traffic control systems to coordinate ambushes. Every human seemed to become a combatant. Children provided reconnaissance. Elderly civilians manufactured ammunition in their homes. Disabled individuals ran communication networks. The entire species moved with single-minded purpose. On the 6th day, something changed. Human engineers had reverse-engineered captured Empire technology. Their first successful prototype of an energy weapon was crude, unstable, and likely to kill its operator. They built 10,000 of them anyway. Vexthor watched his casualty reports climb. The humans were taking losses at a 10-to-1 ratio, but they didn't stop. They didn't surrender. They didn't even slow down. Every fallen human was replaced by 3 more, each learning from the last one's mistakes. Admiral, his tactical officer's voice was strained. We've lost 2 dropships to improvised explosives. They're packing their vehicles with fertilizer and they're driving them into our positions. They're sacrificing themselves? Vexthor couldn't comprehend it. No, sir. They're volunteering. On the 9th day, human forces destroyed their first dreadnought. They'd crashed a civilian space station into it, using magnetic tethers and chemical thrusters. The crew had evacuated, but 300 volunteers stayed behind to guide it manually. The crystalline's words echoed in Vexthor's mind. There are things more dangerous than weapons or numbers. On the 12th day, Vexthor met with Earth's representatives, not to accept their surrender but to offer his own. The human negotiator, a middle-aged woman who'd been a teacher before the invasion, sat across from him with calm eyes. You don't understand us, she said simply. You came here thinking we were divided. We fight among ourselves constantly. But you made one mistake. What mistake? Vexthor asked, his pride shattered. You gave us something we agree on. The Empire fleet withdrew. When Vexthor returned to the Council, the crystalline was waiting. Now you understand, it said. Humanity is prohibited not because they are strong, but because they cannot be broken. They adapt. They innovate. They sacrifice. And most dangerous of all, when threatened, they unite. In 3,000 cycles, when they reach the stars with technology of their own making, the galaxy will not be ready for them. But perhaps if we leave them alone, they will reach the stars as friends rather than conquerors. Vexthor looked at the blue planet one last time. Mark it, he said quietly. Prohibited zone, enforce it absolutely. The Council agreed. Around Earth, new markers were placed, these ones written in every known language of the galaxy, and one more. Prohibited zone. Humanity resides here. They have earned their isolation. They have earned their peace. They have earned our respect. Do not disturb them. You have been warned.